All right, welcome back, everybody. Game Plus TV and the Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network and WQVZ Radio. In your mind, play the theme song Tulsa Time by Don Williams, because we have the Tulsa King with us, the original Tulsa King, joining us, Jared Dumba from the famous hockey-playing Dumba family, where college football is king. Is it king in Oklahoma, I would think, Jared, or is it NBA now
Oh
with the
yeah.
Thunder there? It's college?
Yeah, college football reigns supreme everywhere. I think high school football might even be more popular than the NBA in Oklahoma. It's unbelievable. Yeah.
All right. Well, he played around the U.S. in pro hockey, but he's with us today. Jared Dumba, the Tulsa King, is our NHL analyst. And I looked it up in the break. Everybody's still talking. Two things they're talking about here in South Florida today. Last night's National College Football Championship game won by Indiana and Sergei Bobrovsky's goalie fight against Alex Nedeljkovic. I've looked it up, everybody. The last fight was 2020. Mike Smith and Cam Talbot. These things are rare. Jared, what was your take on what went down here in Sunrise? Bob's first career fight, by the way.
I thought it was absolutely awesome to see the guys going, see Bob going at it. You know, a guy with that type of stature in the league. Everybody loves a good goalie fight, and nobody seems to get hurt in the goalie fights. It's a little tougher to throw. If you've ever put the goalie gear on, we've all done it. Put the goalie gear on and try and fight just to see what it's like. You can barely even move, so nobody's getting hurt. It's a lot of fun to watch, and nobody's getting hurt in a goalie fight unless you're fighting Ray Emery, the late great Ray Emery. He used to fight forwards and win. I've never seen
Former
anything like it.
Ottawa
Yeah.
Senators goaltender for sure. How many fights were you in your career? As I recall, you were a skater finesse type, but you must have dropped the mittens at some point.
Yeah, I was anywhere from 2 to 5 a year. I think five was my. Well, I wasn't a
Oh,
big fighter. I was usually playing with the top player on the team, and being a setup man, or some years the goal scorer, some years the setup man, and that was kind of what I prided myself in. I didn't really fight. We had three. Every team I ever played on in pro at that time had at least three, sometimes four or five, six guys that fought all the time. I'm talking, 12 to 20 fights a year. Type of thing. So yeah, I mean, I think my most one year was 5 fights, and lowest would have been 2 fights probably.
the Tulsa King is with us, pro hockey alum Jared Dumba. I'm gonna throw you and I didn't send a list of topics back and forth. We usually do, but I think we can handle it. We've had a few conversations
We'll
over
be
the years.
fine. We'll be
Yeah,
fine.
of all the teams out of a playoff spot, I guess there would be 16, right? Out. Who has a chance to turn their season around, especially of those like Vancouver can't, I don't think, and Calgary's not, right? They're taking offers on the Blake Colemans and the Nazem Kadris, but can the Winnipeg Jets, the Leafs, these teams that have underachieved, let's say, which one has the best chance of really turning it around in the second half?
Well, I think the Jets are going to turn it around here. We're starting to see that a little bit with Taves starting to play like you and I thought he would when we chatted in the first half of the year. He's starting to get his feet under him now, play a lot better. You got Hellebuck back. I think Winnipeg. I mean, they're out of it now, but they can. They've got the team obviously winning the President's Trophy last year. They got the team that could put together 10 in a row, 11 in a row. You never know what they do. They got a good chance. I think the Leafs will get in. I think the Panthers,
Really?
as Kachuk comes back, I think Kachuk, he's going to spark them. You add a player like that, and it just gets everybody going in the room. I think the Panthers have a great shot, especially they're a little bit tired out in the first half of the year after getting to the Cup final three times in a row and winning two of them. But I would never count the Panthers out. They get Kachuk back now, see what they do at the deadline. I think a lot of it's going to depend on what people do at the deadline, and do you happen to bring in the right guy that fits in the mix, fits in the room. There will be a lot depending on that as we go down the stretch here, because I've never seen a season that's this close and that's had this many teams fall off the side of the planet, and then all of a sudden come back and put together strings of look at Buffalo. What have they won? 12 of 15. Are they 12-2-1, I think, in their last 15? It's been such an interesting season. It just shows the parity of the league, and what a great job that the NHL's done.
statistically, it has been the closest year for parity, closest games, which comes with it upsets. I'm sure the betting windows love it. By the way, from the audience, John in Winnipeg says, the Jets, yes, turn it 180. Jeff, the Stamps fan, says that blocker could do some damage. Oh, yeah, it is a weapon. I'm surprised that it has not been designated as such by the courts, the blocker in a goalie fight. I was standing beside Paul Maurice last night, and I got to go back and listen to the tape for the quote, but he said something along the lines of, we're in trouble. They're only 4 points out of a playoff spot, Jared, with a little less than half a season to go. But I do think that people that weren't worried might be getting a little worried in terms of coaches. You know what I'm saying? Like, who should be the most worried?
Out of all the coaches right now, oh,
Yeah.
that's a tough question just because of the parity that's going on. Yeah, beginning of the season, you might have said Nashville Predators. Um, it's such a tough. Maybe you look towards St. Louis right now. It doesn't seem like anybody's really like too many teams are wanting to fire their coaches this year. Usually, you see a couple in the first half of the year, and then you see a few, a couple few more before the trade deadline type thing, to give guys a chance to get in the end of the season. But I don't know, if you're looking for a team to fire the coach, I'd probably say have a look towards St. Louis's way, even though I know
Yeah.
he just got in there. He's a great coach, but it's, you'd think when you did that, what you did last year with basically the same team, and the way it's going this year, uh, don't be surprised if it's St. Louis. Other than that, there's not a lot of guys that I would think are too much on the hot seat just because of the parity.
No, and to be honest, I had Tim Hunter here on the other day, and I said, we didn't see the move coming in Columbus, and he's like, well, they're last place. So if you didn't see that coming, you must be blind. But that's the only coach firing was Dean Evison for Rick Bowness, and beyond that, I'm with you. I can't see anybody else getting toasted. But I'm wondering, with your hockey people that you chat with, how much are you paying attention to the New York Rangers? Like, they're not going to fire Mike Sullivan. I don't think. They just hired him, but Chris Drury, the
Yeah.
GM, clearly is Teflon, and they're just a disaster. What are you seeing out of
Yeah,
the New York Rangers?
I don't get it. Yeah, I've been actually following that quite close, and since the stuff happened last year with the stuff leaking out of the room, I've kind of I've changed my opinion on Drury. I thought he was doing a good job, and now just the way that that stuff, I think we chatted about it last year. That stuff really gets in the locker room and really gets guys walking on eggshells. It makes them lose trust in their GM. Makes you lose trust in the guys around the team a little bit. You start wondering, who's talking behind whose back, and it just kind of seems like a mess. I'm surprised he's still there. Do you see the letter that he put out a couple of days ago? Talking about the rebuild. Now, I'm not sure if he knows he's going to be there or if he's trying to get out front of something. If he's worried about his job. But if I'm pulling the strings there in New York, Drury, unfortunately, I hate to say call for guys' jobs, but Drury would be the first one to go just based alone on everything he did last year.
Our hockey analyst, Jared Dumba, is with us. And so they are expecting, everybody says Artemi Panarin is going to be moved by the Rangers. The question is to where. I'm going to give you a little homework assignment here because I don't assume he's going to be moved before the Olympics. Not that he would be playing in them because he's Russian and Russia's not allowed to go. But a few people that I trust a lot think he's going to go to Vegas. And for decades, we've seen Kelly McCrimmon always gets his guy. We saw it in Brandon. We see it now in Vegas. Thomas Hertel, Noah Hannafin, Rasmus Anderson, Jack Eichel. You name it. How does he keep doing it? How could they possibly get Artemi Panarin? Yet I wouldn't be surprised if they did.
Well, I don't see that happening just because I think McCrimmon's too smart of a businessman. I think he's going to find out. He's going to do some digging and find out what Panarin wants. And I think what Panarin wants is in that 13, $14 million range. He knows the cap's going up. I don't know if he's going to get what he wants unless he just wants to go to Vegas that bad. I think the more likely scenario is that we see Panarin land in a place like Los Angeles, maybe. LA could really use a scoring type, and we know that Panarin likes the bright lights in the big cities. So I could see somewhere like LA. I would think that Carolina would be very interested in him. Now, I don't know if he's going to want to go to a place like Carolina, just because the word's been out for a while that that's why he wanted New York. He didn't want to be in a smaller place like Columbus. He wants the bright lights and the big city feel. So, but I think the best fit for him would be Carolina, but I'd expect him to go somewhere like Los Angeles.
Well, and that's remember too. Vegas would only be acquiring him on a rental for the rest of the season, right? So that they could get
Yeah,
the
that's
Rangers
true.
to keep half his contract. Yeah. And maybe that's why people are expecting that he would end up there. Wayne in Victoria writes in on the Western Dodge text line. He says, I think Jared has it right. At least I hope he's right when it comes to the Canadian teams, Winnipeg and Toronto. I always cheer for the Canadian teams. Let's not forget, like a month ago, there wasn't one Canadian team in a playoff spot in the Western Conference, but that's changed because Edmonton's in there, but they're the only
Yeah.
one. But I'll say this. I know you watch more hockey than probably anybody I know. You've probably been on this San Jose train for a while. I just saw them last night. Number one,
Yeah.
wow, they're
Yeah.
very
They're
young.
good.
And number two, and Montreal is better, but
Yeah.
not by a lot. So get ready for Montreal and San Jose to be prominent for a long time, I think.
Oh yeah, Montreal. We see what they're doing there, and they've got. Oh, now the guy's name is slipping my mind. Young Russian kid playing in the KHL. He's putting up bigger numbers than what Demidov did last year. Was it Guryanov? Maybe. I might be switching
You
up
got
them in
me.
Chicago, but they've got some great players that are still coming up. Montreal's going to be good forever, and so same thing with San Jose. That's already looking like a good team. They made some great moves. I've been saying it all year. When you do the whole Celebrini and Bedard comparison, Celebrini's surrounded by a much better team. Even though he's in on almost 50% of the goals, you look at their team, you look at what they've done there, bringing in Askarov, and even last night, Celebrini doesn't get a point. They win 4-1. He's they've got a great team there, and I think you're right, Rod. Those are going to be two teams that we're going to be watching. 10 years from now, people are going to be sick of them because they're going to be pushing for the cup every single year, and they're going to be hoping somebody else gets in.
Yeah, that's what I see. The thing with Celebrini, I was not overly impressed. And of course, I'm always going to look at him through the Bedard goggles. So he'll
Yeah.
never measure up to me, to Connor Bedard. But last night, you just said it. He was pointless. He was around the net, but he didn't find the score sheet. He's a great player.
Oh
But
yeah.
who do you think, I guess in the end, they'll both have tremendous NHL careers. How would you even say who had the better career? If it ends up being a Sid Ovi competition, that's two pretty good careers. How would you pick between Sid and Ovi?
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I say too when people say, well, who's better, Bedard or Celebrini? I say, who cares? We get to watch these guys for the next 20 years, maybe 20 plus with today's medicine and all the new age stuff we got going on. But right now, Celebrini's definitely surrounded by the better team. He's got better line mates. They're very, very close. Celebrini might be a touch better defensively, but Bedard's way better. He's more creative offensively. But again, it's very, very close. Who cares?
You know who cares? Hockey Canada.
Yeah, that's true.
When they had a
That's
name
true.
when they had to name a roster. So in the
Touche.
end, we'll see if Barad ends up making the roster because Celebrini's already been invited. By the way, we have somebody watching in Minnesota who wants to take umbrage with your Panarin wants the bright lights. Guy by the name of Dave Faulkner.
Oh,
Remember
Davey.
Falky? He's watching on Game Plus TV. He writes in on the text line 902-518-3033. He says, hey, Jared, you knucklehead, there's no bright lights in Vegas? You ever
Oh
thought
yeah.
about that?
Yeah. No, there's bright lights there, but what I was saying was I don't think he's going to fit in with what Vegas has. I think it would be easier to slide into in LA, and he would have to take. McCrimmon's not bringing anybody in and giving him top dollar. That's for sure.
Mm.
Unless it's just a short-term rental for just this year. I don't think that's what Panarin's looking for. That's just my call. But yeah, obviously there's not a lot of places that have more lights than Vegas. That's for sure. We've all been there.
Yeah, speaking
Sort of
of,
remember going.
you're right. I sort of remember coming home. Speaking of Minnesota, did you watch the Leafs Wild game last night?
Yeah, I caught most of it. I had some stuff going on, but I caught the end. It was already out of control by the time I caught it, and it was the Leafs seem to do that every now and then. I don't know. I think it's part of the media, just having so much media around, and you hear every single thing that's going on. Minnesota hasn't. They haven't been at the top of their game for the last little while. I think, and Toronto's been playing so well. I think they went into the game just from the parts I saw. I think they might have come into the game thinking, "Oh, this one's going to be. We're just going to walk over this game." Minnesota, even though they've thrown a couple wins lately, they haven't been at the top of their game. I think that they might have taken that one a little bit lightly, but Minnesota. They look good. They're dangerous. They're one of the teams that I say look out in the playoffs, especially if they make another addition of some sort. They got a really good squad there. Matt Boldy, one of my new favorite players in the league. He's just phenomenal to watch. And then obviously
Yeah,
the $17 million man Kaprizov.
yeah, he had a couple of assists too. And I talked to a hockey guy this morning who watched that game. I did not because I was watching Bob getting his fights here, and he said Quinn Hughes ran the whole game. And I
He
think
was
we all know.
unbelievable.
Yeah, tell me what you saw from Quinn Hughes last night.
He just he gets in those modes where it's like he can see everything that's going on all around him for the whole night. It seems like he's just floating around on the ice. It seems like he doesn't even have to take a stride, kind of like Mike Modano used to do, where you're just flying around, and his stop, the way he stops and starts, and the way he finds seams, and the way he sneaks in behind guys, he's just incredible. And he was on fire last night. He was by far the best player. He was the best player in the league last night. Not the best player in that game. He was unbelievable to watch.
Hey, do you watch Tampa Bay much?
When they're on, yep, yep.
Okay, so they've won 12 of 13. And
Oh,
I've
they're
got a lot of
unbelievable
people
right now.
asking, yeah, with 2 minutes, I got people asking me, how are they doing it? Help me look smart, Jared. How are they doing it? What should I tell people when they say, how's Tampa Bay winning all these games?
Well, you got one of the best goaltenders in the world. You've got really solid defense, but I mean, look at Kucherov. He, as usual, he's starts a little bit slow. Now he comes on. Kucherov's just all over the puck. He could have last game. He could have had a couple more goals easy. He's one of the best players, one of the top 3, 4 players in the league again right now. And then you've got Gensel, you've got Hagel. Hagel, in my opinion, is the best left winger in the entire National Hockey League, and that's not he's not on the national team. He's not on the Olympic team just because his coach is the coach. He's the best left winger in the league. I just love his game. You got guys like that. You got guys like Cirelli. Any other team, you got McDavid on the ice, throw out Cirelli. You got McKinnon, you can throw Cirelli. You can play against absolutely anybody. You've got a lot of different tools in the toolkit, and you got maybe the best coach in the world as well. So to me, it's no secret why they're winning. They got a phenomenal team, phenomenal coach, phenomenal GM.
You just summed that up very nicely in like 45 seconds. Jared, they're going to start calling you a broadcaster soon, not just a hockey guy. And how
Hey, I
about
used
that?
to
We're
do
out of
that.
time. Yeah, I was going to say we're out of time, and we somehow magically found stuff to talk about. Jared, how about that?
That's weird. Yeah, we could do this for 2 days, Roddy.
Okay, enjoy
Never
the
run
hockey. We'll
out.
do it again soon. Thank you, Jared. Thanks for the time.
All right, brother. Have a great day.
The Tulsa King, Jared Dumba from the famous hockey playing Dumba family. When we come back, we've got a sports update and then whatever you all would like to discuss the rest of the way on Viewer Takeover. The lines are open to text 902 518 3033 or the YouTube chat. We'll be right back after this.